Alright guys, what is up? Today I've got a pretty big announcement, I guess you could call it that. Um, it's an idea I'm working on, thinking about working on for the channel or whatever. Um, Before I get into that, yeah, I don't really know how to go about saying what I'm trying to say right now, but I just want you guys to try to hear me out for a second, and let me fully explain what I'm going for here. Um, first and foremost, let me explain a little bit about my channel and what I try to do. What I My goals, kind of, I don't know if goals is the right word, but I guess well, let me explain a little bit about my channel. When I started doing this a little over a year ago, maybe a year and a couple months now. Um, it's just for fun. I'm just on here as a hobby. Obviously, I'm not making any money doing this stuff. To be completely honest, I don't think I'm very good at making these videos, uh, and stuff like that, or whatever. I don't have a lot of time. I work a regular job. I don't got a lot of time to be doing this stuff. Um, anyway, I'm not going to get into like my whole life story or anything. The point is, I don't have a lot of time or resources, or to be brutally honest, I don't have a lot of skill when it comes to making these videos. And that's not to be like, oh, like a pity party for me or anything like that. It's just to put in perspective what I'm going to be saying later. Um, Basically what I'm saying is, whenever I get ideas for content that I want to put on my channel, I get oftentimes I'll get like a big idea, and then I'll go to do it and I'll realize I don't have enough time or enough resources, or sometimes I just realize that I just don't have the ability to actually do it. So then what I either do end up doing is doing like a half baked version of it, which if you see my channel, you kind of pretty much get what I'm talking about, I guess, probably. But or if you're watching this video now, you could probably pretty much extrapolate what I'm trying to say here. But or I just end up not doing it at all. And a week ago, I explained that I accidentally bought a year's subscription to this AI art app, which is why I made a bunch of videos using it or whatever. I really only meant to use it for one video, and then I accidentally bought a year's worth. So then I'm like, I got a couple more ideas, and then I ran out of ideas. But anyway, blah blah blah. The whole point of me saying that is, last week I thought about doing a I'm like, man, I'm running out of ideas what to use it for. Maybe I could use it to make my own manga comic series or whatever. And I went through this past week kind of toying around with it, and what I found out immediately is, I'm like, that's impossible. That's not going to work. And it's not going to work. B, even if it did work, like, that's a dumb idea. But so usually this would be the part where I do a half baked version of what my plan was, which really the plan was half baked to begin with. But or what I was planning on doing in this situation is just giving up and not doing it. But here comes the but. But in my head, I came up with this story for what the comic would be about, or manga. I guess it's technically not. I think mangas are only comics from Japan, but it doesn't matter. Detail. Let me cut. Let me cut to the chase. I start rambling too much. Throughout the course of this week, I've been thinking about the story. I've been going over it and thinking and going over, and then coming back and putting more details and putting more details into it. I've been thinking, I'm like, man, this would be really, really cool if I could do. But again, I don't have the time. I don't have the resource. I don't have the skill. I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to use the AI art app to do it. I've used it to come up with some concept for characters, which you can see is what I've been showing most of the time, and I will go through some of the concepts of characters I did create using that app. We'll get to that in the next part of the video, but after I explain this, I have thought of a story. I think it's really good. It's a really simple story, which, um, I'm not going to get into like the details of it, obviously, or anything. I do want to do it. Maybe it stinks. Maybe it's a stupid idea, but for this one, I do want to fully commit to putting the best thing possible out there. If that makes sense. If I'm not sure I'm getting my message across very well, but the point is, like I said, this might be like a really dumb idea. Everybody might hate it. That's fine if that's the case. But in this case, I'm going to go all out. And if it doesn't work, fine. But I'll regret more if I don't put maximum effort into trying to make it happen than if I put it out there and it gets totally ripped apart and everybody hates it, or nobody. More likely than everybody hates it is that nobody will even watch it. Or no one will even see it. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I am going to commit to putting it out there. That means I'm going to have to hand draw. I'm going to have to, but I don't think I have the skill to do that. I'm probably going to have to find somebody else to draw it for me. And that's part of the purpose of this video today. If there's anybody out there watching on YouTube or TikTok or whatever, you've got the art skills to be able to help me out with this, I would appreciate it. I'll put my email in the description probably, or in the comment section maybe. Hit me up if you think you have the skills, or you know someone who does, and you'd be interested in helping out on this project. I'd really appreciate it. Obviously, I'll be working on my own avenue, seeing if I can find anybody. Because, like I said, I want to put the best foot forward, and the best foot forward is not me. It's probably not going to be me draw. I mean, I will if I have to. I'll learn how to draw if I have to, and if it takes years to put this out, I'll do that. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm working out right now. So half of this is to explain the project I'm working on right now. That'll be the second half. Well, again, we'll get to that in a minute. I'll probably have to do it in two part of this video or whatever. But the first part of this video is going to be me reaching out, asking for help. If you knew me personally, you would know I don't like asking for help. I never do it, no matter what. But this is something that I've really, again, it's only been a week I've been thinking about it, but I already feel really strongly about wanting to put out the best possible version of my idea out there. And to do that, I need someone who has the actual skills to do it. So it's whether it's I get someone that has the skills to do it, or I somehow train myself to do it, which is unlikely. I mean, it's unlikely I'll be able to do it. I mean, but we'll see where the cookie crumbles, where things fall. So without further ado, maybe to pique some people's interest in this project or whatever, maybe spur some people to help me out. Let's get into the concepts of some of the characters that I'm working on for this series. To start it off, let's start with this guy here that I've been showing this whole time that I've been talking. This guy is the guy that would be the main character. Of course, I got a couple different conceptualizations, details. A couple different concepts of how he would look. I kind of did a black and white look for here because in a manga it would be black and white, obviously. The character name I got for him is Toro, and this is kind of a different look. I have a couple different designs looking for him. This is more of a colored version, colored in version of how he'd look. I want to, again, give a couple different looks, a couple different ideas how he would look. Did I say what his name was? Toro was going to be his name, like Toro, like bull in Spanish. Again, I just wanted to give a couple different kind of concepts of how I think he would look. I don't want to go too deep about the character I have, like his character traits or his background or even what his abilities are. I don't really want to get too far into that right now. I gotta again, this is maybe a more grown up, older version of him, I guess. Again, a couple different concepts of for the main character idea. I put more concepts of him out. I had the most varied, or not varied, but the most effort into thinking about what his concept's going to be, obviously. But like I said, I don't want to get too deep into his character, too deep into this story or whatever. Today is just going to be about showing the concepts of the characters that I have so far. This one is going to be his name is pretty simple. It's just Black Mask. As you can tell, he wears a black mask, and that's where he gets his name from. But so kind of a simple name. I don't want to get too far. He is a character that once I actually conceptualized him, I did think it was cooler than I originally gave him credit for. Like, it came out looking cooler than I originally thought, I guess. Now this is Toro's little brother, Coyote. Again, it is kind of an animal theme I kind of came up with or whatever. A couple different designs. I think you can kind of tell which characters that I kind of use as inspiration for each of these characters, because I kind of take little things from different characters and kind of use them as inspiration for a lot of these concepts of the characters I want to use in this project or whatever. This is another character. Some characters I have names for already. Some I don't. Some I do have names for. I don't want to give away yet, because I don't think it gives away anything in the story, but I think it would be better if I leave it for when the story actually does unfold. If it ever, I hope it, I hope it does unfold eventually, but anyway, this is another kind of concept of this same character. This is a character I do have a name for, but I don't want to. I want to a lot of details about this story I want to keep close to the vest until I actually do release it, if I ever do. Again, I'm hoping I do. Another character here, again, got a name for him, don't want to give it to you. I think this version of him looks a little better. I mean, the outfit would be different. Again, I used AI art to make these characters, but so their outfits would obviously be a little different. But the general gist of these characters is what I'm looking for. Another one here. Again, this is another guy with a name I don't want to give away. I feel like his name would give away a little bit. I don't know. I don't know if it would. Maybe I'm being too stingy with details here. It's just the story I'm working on, I feel like it's such a simple story that the moments are really so even just the tiniest details, if it's I don't know how to explain this without giving away big details in the story, I guess. And this is another character. I'm not going to give you his name, not because I'm not going to, but because I haven't thought of his name yet. If I'm completely honest with you guys. That might clue you in on how little I have. I'm expecting to really use these guys in the story, I guess. If I haven't thought of their name yet, then that might clue you in. They're not going to be a big part of the story, at least not initially. Like I said, I haven't gotten that far in the story, so I don't want to get too ahead of myself. But I have a solid maybe 5 to 7 chapters, and that would be just like the initial story, kind of like a one shot. I don't know if you can call it a one shot if it's like 7 chapters, but that's what I have. I have a full story for that length set up, and then if it does well, I'll do more, and if it doesn't, then I won't. And we'll see if I can even get this little small thing out first, obviously. But anyway, here's another character. His name is Lightning. That's what I didn't want to say. Maybe it sounds silly now that I'm actually saying it. But the guys before, their names were Water, Earth, Fire, and this guy's name. They're obviously elemental based powers. And their names are just their elements. And this is another concept, but it feels silly now. And then there's going to be another guy, his name is Wind. Or is that their real name? Spoiler alert for you guys, I guess. But I mean, I guess it won't be that big of a reveal. Anyway, got another guy here. Again, don't have his name yet, but I do. In fact, I don't even know if this is how he's going to look. I have another concept for him that looks more like this. Honestly, if it's this character, if the ideas I have for him, it could be, his design might be kind of both of these, and well, you might see what I'm talking about. Although I'm not sure I'm not sure which one of these I'm going to use for him, and I don't have a name for him yet. And this character I don't have a name for yet either, but I do think it's going to be something like very British, like Edward, like Binghamton, or something like very English. He's supposed to be like an English knight-ish type character, so something like very British. It's kind of what I'm going for, with this character. I haven't fully thought of just whatever the most. I'll Google what's the most British name, and it'll be this guy's name. This guy's not going to be a big character. I mean, spoiler alert, I guess this guy's not going to be a big character. I haven't thought of a name for him yet. Same thing for this guy, I guess. I do think he'll be a pretty cool character, but I haven't thought of his name yet. Alright, here we got Wind. I think you could pretty much tell who I thought about when doing the concept for this character. Again, I think some of them are pretty obvious. I think I might get his hair a little longer though. Well, I mean, I guess I'd be between me and the person who I can actually get, if I can actually get someone to help me draw it. I guess if I could get someone to help me draw this, I would give them a pretty carte blanche. I don't want to say carte blanche, but like, I wouldn't say, hey, it's got to be exactly look. I'm like, hey, if you're going to help me out and draw this, you're doing me a huge favor. I'll give them a lot of creative liberties, I guess. Yeah, it just dawned on me that a lot of these guys I didn't really think of names for yet. As I'm recording this video, it just dawned on me. I'm like, wow, I didn't really think. Like, it's surprising like how detailed I thought into the story. I didn't like the thought of a lot of these characters' names didn't really come up, I guess. But no, we'll get something soon. I mean, it's not gonna be a big deal to make their names. I've thought of a lot of characters' names that I haven't introduced yet, and might not even introduce because they're later on in the story. I might not ever get to that point. But anyway, yeah, that's kind of what I got. Again, I'm hoping to find somebody to help me draw this, help me put this project out there. Again, I think it could be really cool. Next week, I might put out like a prologue sort of thing, because I won't really like draw any characters or any action or dialogue scenes. It'll be kind of just put out there to give the general gist and premise of what the series would be about, and kind of introduce the world that it's set in, if that makes any sense. I might put that out next week. And again, hopefully soon I get in touch with somebody that can help me, put this project in motion. If not, I'll work on it myself. I don't care how many years it takes me to do it. So yeah, that's all I got. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for supporting the channel. All the guys that are following, subscribed, or whatever. If you like the video, please like the video, share it. Hit that subscribe, follow button, or whatever. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you're fired up about this project as I am. And I hope you have a great rest of your day, you son of a